What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. I have been super hyped about Rebel Moon, as you can tell, because probably that's mostly what I've been covering the past couple weeks on the channel. But the hype is real right now. We are officially in Rebel Moon month, you guys, and CCXP is going on right now. But yesterday, December 1st, was Rebel Moon's panel, and they screened the movie for people that were there, and they had like a little side panel, like a mini panel that was actually part of the live stream, and it was just awesome to see so much cool stuff being shared from that event. If you're new to the channel, thank you for checking out my content, and if you enjoy it, consider subscribing. If you're new subscriber, shout out to you guys, and thank you guys for the continued support as well. So if you have been, if you were like not there like I wasn't at CCXP, which is like the biggest Comic-Con in the world, Rebel Moon had an awesome huge setup. They had a really cool booth, all the like statues and costumes on, like statues of each character, costumes on display. They had like big like life-size Bennu, which is like the creature that Tarek is like a master of, basically. All of the cast members, only cast members that I think we didn't get, that were not able to make it, was Duna Bay, who plays Nemesis, and the actress who plays Devra. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but those two cast members were not there, but everyone else was there. They had this really cool setup that I've never really seen before, being set up at a Comic-Con, and it was like a mini little set, and they have a camera set up on a track, and fans could go and be directed by Zack to be filmed in this little mini trailer of their own, and they would film it, and then they would like send it to them, probably like on their phone or something, to see them inserted in this little trailer. And it was just a really cool thing. People were sharing videos of it, and I think that was a really awesome thing for them to do for fans, because they actually got to have like one-on-one interaction with Zack, and just a really cool thing for a director to do with his fans. Shows so much appreciation from him. Each had like their own individual entrance for each cast member. Ray Fisher was like, I think they were all pretty hyped up and excited, but I think Ray Fisher was probably the most hyped, which totally understandable, because he's returning to another film he gets to work with Zack again, and I think it's probably super satisfying for them to work together, because they both experienced the whole Justice League thing together, and Ray Fisher was Team Zack from the beginning, and we know how all that went down. So I think they obviously have a really awesome relationship. The big panel where everyone came out, and there was like all these huge screens everywhere, huge crowd, all of that, and where they screened the movie, that panel was not part of the live stream, and like all of the videos and stuff coming from it was basically like from people that were there recording and then posting stuff or sharing stuff on social media. But that huge panel wasn't actually part of the live stream. The live stream was like a smaller little stage, and they kind of brought out a couple of cast members at a time, and Zack and Deborah, and talked to them in little smaller groups. It was just awesome to see all these cool pictures of the cast and Zack and everything. They all looked so happy, super excited. They had amazing things, of course, to say about working on the film together, working with Zack, and the scale of the movie, and all the hard work and dedication that they had to put into this film, especially because they shot parts 1 and 2 back to back, and so it was like 1,000 days of shooting, not literally, but a lot. We've seen stuff on social media, we've heard Zack talk about it a lot, but this is the first time that the cast really has come out and talked about it publicly, besides like social media, especially because the strike was going on for quite a while, so they couldn't share stuff on social media until just recently, and it was perfect timing for the strike to end right before this event. And this actually kicked off their global press tour that they are, they're going to be going to some other locations as well. This is Zack's first time going to CCXP, and it's awesome because the fans there are super supportive. They were chanting Cyborg for Ray Fisher, which I was like emotional about that. It was just so cool to see all of them get so much love and support. Charlie Hunnam actually had an interesting story that he shared during the live stream. They asked him what made him, when he read the script, what made him choose to, take on this project. And his answer was awesome, because he said he didn't read the script. He didn't need to read the script. He said that he got the call and it was like a done deal, but he kind of shared their little bit of history with him and Zack, and said that he was going to be, or almost was, in 300, and that he had gotten 2 offers he'd gotten 2 offers for 2 different movies at the same time. And by the time the offer came through to be in 300, he had already like signed on to be in this other movie. Another, he'd already gone like the contract, everything. So he had to say no, but then he said that he went by himself like opening weekend, and was really sad that he didn't get to be part of 300, which is totally understandable. But then, later on, now down the line, Zack called him again for this role, and it was like, he's like, I didn't need to read the script. I was in. Then, of course, after the movie screened, first reactions started coming out, posting online reviews. Of course, they're spoiler free. They're very like general reactions that don't spoil anything. And a lot of people seem to be really blown away by it, which I fully expect to be as well. But they got to watch it on this giant screen, which is awesome. And after seeing Zack and the cast up there, that just like adds to the entire experience of it. But here's what this thread has to say. I think this might be Zack Snyder's masterpiece. You can feel all the love and thought he put into it for the past 20 years, and he's been working on the idea. The movie starts with Sir Hopkins giving us a small bit of the world building, and the movie excels at that. You can feel the size of this universe and its history, even if it's mostly focused on Korra and Velt. The cinematography is unbelievable, and you will feel that at the very first shot. I saw a lot of comments about that the opening shot was really amazing. There are moments so sublime they brought me to the verge of tears for no reason other than how beautiful they were. That's how I feel in a lot of times watching Zack Snyder's Justice League, especially Flash turning about to, reverse time. I get teary-eyed just because the way it looks. So I totally believe that. Just like he said, think several cornfield scenes from Zack Snyder's Justice League. CGI is great overall, except on very few scenes. The first act has a couple of moments that the pace feels a bit slow, but the movie easily picks up after that. Also, expect more complaints about Snyder's sexualization. Quote, sexualization. The storytelling is great. We are slowly introduced to each character's stories through pertinent and contextual flashbacks or bits of dialogue. Sounds like Zack as well. And they are also well built, even if they need more exploring, that seemed to be promised on Part 2 trailer we saw at the end. So they also got to see the trailer for Part 2. On that, Sofia Boutella is amazing. She encapsulated all the heaviness from the character and was incredible action-wise. I could hear every girl and woman in the stage cheering every time she did something badass, specifically her first fight. Yeah, I think she's going to be awesome. Charlie Hunnam steals the scene from time to time with the most charismatic performance. Jimmy, which is voiced by Anthony Hopkins, has a tad small screen time, but he does make us believe there's a soul to that robot, and he's the most lovable. But don't forget, there's a part 2 to this, so probably get more of him in part 2 as well. Ed Skrein really did an amazing job because I hated his guts. He has a very Negan feel to his character, and you'll understand this reference when you see it. The Empire is hateful all around. Even the soldiers are the typical fascist Snyder loves to put down in his movies. And we know Zack Snyder loves to if you're going to be a villain, then be a villain. Don't water it down. Now let's talk Ray Fisher. Man, I never thought Ray could be more of a badass than we had already seen him. Boy, was I wrong. Blood Axe is the most badass character, fearless, driven. Hollywood is really sleeping on this guy, and he sure felt the love we have for him, which you could tell if you've seen any of the videos. Jimon holds a status to his character even if we barely see him doing much, yet. Watch for this guy on the sequel. He's truly a legend. Ray Porter, man, Ray, you were disgustingly great. Loved it. Wonderful performance. Junkie XL delivers another great soundtrack, banger after banger, serving the tone and the vibes from the movie. I felt hints of his works in the DCEU at times. And that little taste that we got so far of the score sounds on-point description of probably how it is throughout the whole movie. It feels like Star Wars at times, such as the Empire, the hierarchy, the shooting, and then nothing like Star Wars at all when the Dirty Dozen meets Seven Magnificent in space. This is about these characters, not the Empire or the bigger scheme of things. The action was seriously breathtaking. Every fight that introduced each character was welcomed with cheering from the audience. Last fight literally got my heart racing and left me a little out of breath. The scope on this movie is gigantic, which the cast members have talked a lot about as well. It has the potential to explore so much from the past and present for each character, and apparently it will. Netflix is betting on the right guy for this cinematic universe, and he's delivering it. You guys are not ready. I'm so excited. And there's some bits of sci-fi that were quite unexpected, specifically in the epilogue. Do yourself a favor and watch this on the biggest screen you can. If you can't catch it in a theater. Rebel Moon was so much more than what I expected. and more. So a lot to look forward to for sure. This one says, I just saw Rebel Moon, and as expected, Snyder is surprisingly new. It is again an experimental, sensorial, and fast-paced narrative that deals with sci-fi conventions in an open and unafraid to be happy way. It is one of Snyder's best works. Rebel Moon is an instant Zack Snyder classic. Epic battles and a lot of slow motion are present in this amazing movie. With the prevailing soundtrack, Michael Huisman, which is Gunnar, and Sofia Boutella as Cora are great highlights. Rebel Moon Part 1: A Child of Fire is Zack Snyder's magnum opus. Bold, game-changing filmmaking, epic emotional stakes, and electric action that entices your vulva. Not just another sci-fi film, it's one of the best movies ever. A fitting end, setting up what's next. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Visual Effects, and Best Production Design are all guaranteed Oscar nominations. What Snyder has achieved with this film is quite simply on another level. He's truly fine-tuned all his greatest filmmaking assets, a masterpiece. He continues, no spoilers, but the way this film concludes is unbelievable. It's both a self-contained story that satisfies on its own and also a terrific setup. Part 1 type movies can always have this cliffhanger issue, even if they're good. I'm happy to report that Rebel Moon isn't that. Wow. Which I was expecting a cliffhanger because we're getting Part 2, but it seems like it's kind of self-contained, but at the same time it leaves you looking forward to a Part 2 at the same time. I'm really interested to see how the ending is because I've seen comments about that too. Sofia Boutella, not spoiler ones, but that it's really shocking. Sofia Boutella is an astonishing lead, her greatest performance by far, and up there with the icons like Carrie Fisher as Leia or Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Charlie Hunnam is also a highlight, but man, the whole cast is phenomenal. A truly lived-in world, a cinematic event. This is my favorite part. Warner Brothers has made many mistakes, but one of their biggest will always be losing Zack Snyder to Netflix. Rebel Moon would have been a massive hit in theaters and deserves a full-blown exclusive theatrical release. It's Avatar level in terms of eye-opening, next-level experience. Lots of awesome things to say about the movie, which I'm not surprised, but I think it's going to be even bigger and more than what we expect. And I'm super excited to watch it. Again, it comes out December 22nd on Netflix. If you're lucky enough to see it in theaters, if you're, able to make it to one of the locations that it's being shown in, then that's going to be absolutely awesome. If not, you gotta watch it at home like the rest of us, but it's still gonna be an awesome experience and I'm excited for it. So, and if you're on social media, I'm sure you've seen all of these different clips and all of this stuff being shared, and you can probably catch up on CCXP's YouTube channel as well. But thank you guys for watching. It's awesome to see all the love and support that they're getting for this. I'm super excited. And they also had this awesome poster that Zack revealed yesterday that they were giving away at CCXP too. So just really awesome, really exciting. I'm excited for everyone that was there and got to watch it. That's an awesome experience and see everybody. But thank you guys for watching. Check out the links in the description and don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to stay up to date on all this cool stuff. See you soon.